What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide? Maybe I should buy some old tab collars. Welcome back to the age of jive. Where have you been hiding out lately, honey? You can't dress trash till you spend a lot of money. Everybody's talking about the new sound funny, but it's still rock and roll to me. What's the matter with the car I'm driving? Can't you tell that it's out of style? Should I get a set of white wall tires? Are you gonna cruise the miracle mile? Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's a true baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, it's still rock and roll to me. Oh, it doesn't matter what they say in the papers, 'cause it's always been the same old scene. There's a new band in town, but you can't get the sound from a story in a magazine aimed at your average teen. How about a pair of pink sidewinders and a bright orange pair of pants? Well, you could really be a bull brother, baby, if you just give it half a chance. Don't waste your money on a new set of speakers. You get more mileage from a cheap pair of sneakers. Next day's new wave dance crazy, anyways, still rock and roll to me. All right, Rico! What's the matter with the crowd I'm seeing? Don't you know that they're out of touch? Or should I try to be a straight A student if you're all they to drink too much? Or don't you know about the new fashion, honey? All you need are looks and a whole lot of money. So next day's new wave dance crash, anyways, it's still rock and roll to me. Everybody's talking about the new sound funny, but it's still Billy Joel to me. Woo! Woo! Welcome to today's edition of It's Still Billy Joel to Me, the official live stream of Billy Joel completely retold on Facebook. All right. I got something special for you today. While I was researching for old articles, I came across something, a link, and it happened to be on Reddit. Somebody happened to have scanned it and put it up there, so I was able to turn it into a little document. In fact, if you want to go to the bookmobile, I'll be putting it up there so you can get a closer look at it. But everybody knows of the fanzine, the Root Beer Rag. They would sometimes quarterly, and then got down to maybe twice a year. Anyway, it was controlled by Frank Weber, so once he was out, we got no more. But somebody found what happened to be Volume 1, Number 1. And it actually wasn't called the Root Beer Rag back then. It was called the BJT Quarterly. And you can see this, January 1st, 1980, Volume 1, Number 1. And it's only about 3 pages long. It wasn't much of a newsletter compared to the upcoming Root Beer Rags after this. But I was intrigued by this. I was like, BJT, I bet the BJ's Billy Joel. What could the T mean? Now, I haven't read this yet. Maybe we'll find out. But I'll give you another quick look at the cover. Nice close-up there. Look at that posh outfit and blue jeans. Just Billy style. All right. Starts out with a personal letter from Billy Joel. And here, I'll show it here before I read it. So it's a letter to his fans dated November 17th, 1979, 5 p.m. Toronto Harbor Castle Hilton, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. An open letter from Billy Joel. For the last few years, I have received an incredible amount of mail. I do read all the mail which is personally addressed to me. However, due to the sheer volume of it, I haven't been able to answer most of it. Most often, I have been requested to provide touring information, recording plans, autographed pictures, and general news about myself and the band. Therefore, I have decided to make this information available in the form of a newsletter. All right, the origin story of Rip Your Rag. Also, I've been asked where things like tour shirts, tour jackets, posters, etc. can be purchased. Frankly, I have seen so many shoddy bootlegs of these items that I've decided to allow my touring company, BJT, there we go, the touring company, for the T, to make available our own versions of these things, which you may or may not be interested in. Straight from the heart. Truthfully, I have never liked the connotation of fan club. Remembering my own disappointment when I once wrote a long, impassioned letter to the Beatles, only to receive a booklet detailing all the wonderful Beatle lipstick, pocketbooks, dolls, etc. that I could purchase. I was crushed. So I would prefer to think of this as an information service rather than a fan club. Smart move, smart move. Yeah, that's what Retold will be, an information service. That's what we'll change the name to. At the risk of offending anyone, offending those of you who will accept nothing less than a personal reply from your letters, please understand that it's simply a physical impossibility in most cases. However, I hope this newsletter will provide some insight and answers about our future plans and our rock and roll intentions. At least it's an alternative to some of the ridiculous things I've seen written about me in so many of these so-called pop culture publications. Thank you for all the kind words and the interest you've expressed over the years. Again, I do read all mail addressed to me. I know some people think I have a secretary open all my mail. Not so. It is nobody else's business. Sincerely, Billy Joel. Well, it's kind of nice to know that if you sent him a fan mail back then, at least, he read it personally. All right, so starting here with the newsletter, first page, Dateline, New York City. This is the first installment in a series of newsletters which we hope will keep you informed of the current events surrounding Billy Joel. Since the fall of 78 through 79, we have done 120 shows, 100 in the United States and Canada, and 20 throughout the world, in countries such as France, England, Germany, Holland, Japan, and Cuba. It has been quite a hectic schedule, as you can well imagine. Right now, as of this writing, it is what we affectionately call album time. The time of year when Billy and his band go into the studio with his producer to arrange and record a new LP. We thought that since this is really current events, we would like to point out how Billy and his organization go about recording, since there are many fallacies about how this process really evolves. I like how they're not talking down to the fans either, keeping it very professional. Billy has a small rehearsal studio in his home, which consists of a Howard Baby grand piano, a Yamaha electric piano, a Fender Rhodes, a rhythm machine, and some simple recording equipment to help him construct the songs he intends to put on the album. The transformation, however, from the ideas which are born in the studio to when he goes into the recording complex at A&R on 52nd Street, of course, is long and sometimes produces a drastically changed result. And we've seen that in some of those demos and that we've heard over the years. Most of the time, after 2 or 3 takes of the song, they come out with a basic track, which is kept and eventually, after being mixed down, is what we all hear on the final product. Billy seems to prefer to sing while the music track is being recorded because, as those of you who have seen him know, this is how he performs. He sings while he plays. There are several advantages to this, but most of all, it seems to keep everyone, as well as the material, fresh. Because the band has worked together for so long and feels so comfortable working together, the recording time on 52nd Street took barely 7 weeks. Of course, that is not to say that at the end of 7 weeks, a finished album is ready to be delivered to CBS Records. there is a great deal of time taken in the sweetening, strings, background vocals, percussion, etc., mixdown, mastering, cover art design, photo sessions, and album packaging. Once the masters are delivered, test pressings must be made and approved by Billy Joel and the producer before the actual pressing of the album commences. That makes sense. You don't want something to be off that the artist doesn't like. Last chance to catch it. Wonder if they'd ever did a test pressing that Billy heard for Cold Spring Harbor. Many people wonder how Billy writes his songs, i.e. lyrics first, music first, one verse, a chorus, etc. Billy's pattern has been the same for all his albums. He will come up with a melody, and maybe not a complete song, but will take that melody and play it in different rhythms and styles. For example, Only the Good Die Young was originally arranged as a reggae tune. Come out, I won't. Billy said recently, there are even times when I don't have a song prepared. I will sit down at the piano, and the band will surround me and tease me until I come up with something. The new song, I Don't Want to Be Alone Anymore, came about in this manner. Oh. Once lyrics are completed, the song is arranged to a feel that suits it. Then, Billy and the band record it. The first song I wrote for the new album was Sleeping with the Television On, which actually started being written while on the last tour. We began arranging it as sound checks before the show. Another interesting note for those of you who have seen Billy throughout the years, notice that during the past 2 tours, he has become extremely mobile on stage, as opposed to the days when he used to sit down behind the piano and not move for 2 hours. This came about during the recording of Big Shot, and as it was related to us by Billy, the studio was empty, the guys went home. I turned out the lights, grabbed a hand mic, and ran around the studio. This was the vocal that finally used on the album. For those of you who saw the Fall 79 tour, you heard some new songs. All for Lena, Sometimes a Fantasy, and You May Be Right. I started out performing You May Be Right playing David Brown's guitar, said Billy, but because I had a habit of throwing the guitar down or smashing it up against the amplifier, the guitar idea was abandoned at David's request, and I performed the song using a mic stand. All these songs will be included in the new album and have already been recorded as of this writing. We hope you will enjoy them on record as much as you do live. Presently, there's a new song being recorded entitled Close to the Borderline at a different studio. Oh, Electric Ladyland, the studio where all the Hendrix albums and other great rock albums of the 60s were recorded. We know you're anxious for a release date for the upcoming album, which has not yet been titled. And we all are hoping that you will be able to get your copy sometime in March of 1980, barring any unforeseen events. After the album is released, we will be commencing another world tour where we hope to play such countries as Israel, Spain, Italy, France, Norway, Sweden, Australia, and Japan. And then, of course, come back home and perform for you. You will receive an additional newsletter letting you know when a tour schedule is finalized and tickets go on sale. At this point, we would like to wish everyone the best for the new year and to thank you for your constant support throughout the years. With the BJT Quarterly, we hope to provide you with information directly from the source because many of the things written about Billy Joel in teen and pop magazines are not always entirely truthful. Once again, have a good new year and join us as we surge into the 1980s. Oh, signed Steve Cohen. Steve, the sound engineer, wrote that. All right, so that was the origin story of the Root Beer Rag, which I plan to read several issues in the upcoming episodes, okay? So remember, you haven't heard Billy Joel till you've heard Billy Joel completely retold. Thanks for tuning in, guys.